Still, the average of 1 million viewers would still be watching TNA because TNA would just take those guys into the TNA, and the booking committee would not know what to do with them. It's also like in football, where you can have the greatest football team on the planet, the greatest talent. Make up your dream team, if you will, in the NFL, and then throw in an NFL coach by the name of Cam Cameron, the guy who led the Dolphins to 1-15, and the guy obviously had no idea what the heck he was doing. And, you take all that team, but you got to have the coach that can lead them to a great season. Same thing goes true in TNA. The TNA talent is great. It's maybe not as good as the WWE's, but I'll tell you this, those guys could go into WWE, and succeed. But really, the booking committee has taken the TNA talent and pretty much thrown it out there for everybody to crap on. One bad storyline here, one bad storyline for a wrestler after another, and, everybody looks at him, even though his wrestling ability may be great, but they'll look at the guy and say, wow, does he suck? The casual fans will say that. Diehard fans and true fans of wrestling that know the wrestling ability and psychology and everything, they'll say this guy's actually pretty good. It's just the storyline and the situation he's been put in. But casual fans that pass, TNA every single night, and they see this guy and they hear so much about him, and they say, what's so great about this guy? He's running around in a reindeer suit. AJ Styles. They're going to say this guy can't sell, and some of these fans are WWE fans, and that's what you want to bring over to your product right now, are WWE fans. Everybody talks about how Monopoly sucks and everything, but sometimes, it's kind of hard to believe why, how come Monopoly in professional wrestling has been around longer? Even with WCW, they were ridiculous at points. Almost makes you wonder sometimes. And it also makes you wonder why TNA is even still around. It's a complete waste. These guys would do a lot better on the independents, starting back from scratch on the independents and working yourself back up. Go to a developmental deal in WWE. At least you can say you made something of yourself. OVW, I'll say this. If OVW ever comes on television, they would beat TNA in the ratings. Because the booking there is a lot better than it is in TNA. And TNA is on television every single week. So what does that say about, wrestling these days? As far as competition. But now let's go to another sport that is monopolized, so to speak, and the UFC, mixed martial arts. UFC this Saturday night, UFC 80 Rapid Fire. We will see the vacant lightweight title be decided between the prodigy BJ Penn and Joe Daddy Stevenson. And then we'll see Gabriel Gonzaga off of his challenge to the World Heavyweight Championship in the UFC take on a former nemesis of his from other mixed martial arts promotions earlier in their careers in Fabricio Verdum. I'll tell you what, this UFC pay-per-view, really does not have you anticipating it that much. It really doesn't, compared to last month's pay-per-view. Let's see, you had Matt Hughes and George St. Pierre and Chuck Liddell and Vanderlei Silva. Two great matches that are better than any two matches on this pay-per-view. And UFC, the weird thing about UFC is that the pay-per-view prices stay the same. UFC, they'll throw out a good pay-per-view like the last one I just mentioned. Or they'll throw out a stacked card, $40. They'll throw out a stacked card of UFC, of mixed martial artists. Be a great night of fights. It's $40. Next month, you come back with a show that's a little bit below par. And you still expect your mixed martial arts fans to pay $40 for that. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to buy it because I'm stupid. Well, actually, no, we're just true fans of mixed martial arts here at my house. We just love UFC. But, the casual fans of UFC will say, ooh, Chuck Liddell, Vanderlei Silva, two recognizable names. And you throw in Matt Hughes, George St. Pierre, four recognizable names, and they're willing to throw down the $40 that they, work their butts off for at work every single week. They'll throw it down and pay for UFC. They see the commercial for Joe Stevenson and BJ Penn. Then you see Gabriel Gonzaga and Fabricio Verdum. You'll think, oh, I can miss this. Oh, this card sucks. I ain't got to watch this. Even though it's a title, I don't think this show is really worth $40. I think if UFC would do anything right, they would do something right about, their pockets, and if, they wanted to sell more pay-per-views, bring it down to half price maybe. Or maybe even bring it down $10 even for shows like this. when you know there's not that much time invested. And also last month, you cannot look in a newspaper from Wall Street or New York Times. You cannot turn on Spike TV, for 5 minutes and not see 3 commercials for the last month's pay-per-view. I usually be seeing it, a bunch of times on other channels on TV every single day. And this one, I have not seen promotion for whatsoever. I mean, I even though I don't really watch Spike TV, I imagine it's there. I imagine it's on Spike TV because UFC pretty much owns Spike TV because all the ratings they bring in. But UFC, I don't ever seen a single commercial. They'll talk about these in-demand pay-per-views from cable. They'll throw it out there on these TV stations, and you can hear about it and watch the commercial, and you'll see promotion for it, and it'll draw you in. But not too many people watch Spike TV all that often unless Ultimate Fighter's on. And that's really pretty much all the promotion has been, I guess, from what I've seen. I almost forgot about UFC this Saturday night because the card sucks so bad. So, I don't own UFC, and I don't know what the buy rates are for these shows. Hey, it may be a huge buy rate. It might bring in a lot of money, and I may be sounding like an idiot right now for even saying this, even considering this, because all the money they can still bring in. But, some fans are not going to be willing to throw down $40 to watch, Joe Stevenson and BJ Penn, and then Gabriel Gonzaga and Fabricio Verdum fight. I mean, those are your 2 big fights right there, and really, are you just getting it, you just getting psyched up for it? I'm really not. If I missed it, I missed it. Who cares? Check the results. I'm pretty sure it's going to be on UFC Unleashed anytime, anyways, on Spike TV. So why even spend your money on it? Because those 2 fights are going to end up on UFC Unleashed somewhere down the road. But I'll tell you what, I'm predicting this right now. Joe Stevenson beating BJ Penn, and Gonzaga, I think, will probably beat up Verdum. I'm saying that right now. Those are my predictions. I'm not giving you a whole hoopla into why I think that those things are going to happen. And I'm just throwing it out there, just because I like the guys. A thing I really don't like about professional wrestling sometimes, though, I'm getting off mixed martial arts now, obviously. But a thing I do not like about professional wrestling are sometimes their real-life storylines. Sometimes their storylines are so over the top that turns you off sometimes. This Edge and Vicky Guerrero angle. I would not have a problem with it if Eddie Guerrero is still alive. But with this being with Vicky being his widow, and Edge being one of his better friends in real life, and how they're throwing out this love angle on wrestling TV, it's one of those things that you gotta scratch your head and say, is that really necessary? I mean, we talked about the Jeff Hardy son, Whisper in the Wind flip, but that's a move that's not necessary. This is an angle that is not necessary, if you will. I get it with all these real life angles. You can throw anything real life that's happened now, in the news or anything. You can throw it out there in professional wrestling and make a storyline out of it. But sometimes you don't do this. I mean, and I had much objections to the whole Randy Orton making fun of Eddie's death. I'm having a lot of objections to the Edge and Vicky Guerrero angle. I mean, really, is this necessary? I mean, what a way to pee on a man's memory than by having his wife being a love angle. It is his wife, and you would think she would not want to be seen on television. Because Eddie Guerrero was traveled on the SmackDown brand when he died. You would think that she would not want to travel. You think she would want to spend time with her kids as they're growing up. Because Eddie Guerrero has gone a lot. I'm pretty sure she's the one to be gone a lot now. She probably saw how Eddie Guerrero missed a lot of things in his little girls' lives.